Alright, welcome back everybody to episode 8, Farming Simulator 22 on Ravenport 22. I don't think we're even close to having anything ready to harvest. Well, closest thing's going to be field 18, which was what? Soybeans. I wish I had a camera right now that I could be dual recording with, because my cat, the brat child, is sitting on my laptop desk, where my secondary screen is for my desktop. Which is kind of funny because right now I've got, 4 screens on that desk? Got my secondary, my HP laptop, which is running Linux Mint, my Lenovo, which is running Chrome Flex right now, and then I've got my secondary monitor for my HP. um, but he's watching my mouse on the secondary monitor, kind of where I'm moving it around and all. But we're going to see what we can do about getting some more money. I mean, we got 471,000 right now. I already said, what building is that? It's my workshop. It's been. We'll leave it at that. And what I'm thinking about doing is selling some seed or fertilizer. So Alma is buying fertilizer. $2,765 per thousand. Anybody buying seed? Which I'm surprised I don't see seed yet. Ooh, I could do fish on here. I don't know where I'd put them at the moment. I could do fish. I'll sell propane and propane accessories. Oh, seed. Yep. We're going to do solid fertilizer. We'll load up the trailer there. Let's go to Alma. There's a fair amount. Make a lot more by selling than it will cost us to fill. Maybe. Actually, $33. 1,000. I think it's all the same, so we'll spend what, $66 for 42,000. So that's 2764. Times 42, because it's 2,764 per 1,000 liters. So we got to divide 42,000 by 1,000. That's 42. $116,088. We're going to about hit the button. 33. So we paid $66 basically. So we'll have a profit of $116,022 plus some because of the environmental bonus. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it's got, yep, it's got up there tagged. You want there tagged. Oh. So, this is honestly kind of weird. Well, not really. Doing this ain't weird. I've done this. But what I'm saying is kind of weird for me is I'm playing I'm not listening to any music. Usually if I'm playing, I've got music going in the background. But because YouTube likes to, hey, you realize you got copyrighted stuff playing in the background, even if it's something that you're streaming through the game. YouTube still wants to, hey, you got copyright content. Like, I think it's the latest episode of oh, I should have definitely gone the other way. I'm not doing bad considering how much weight I'm on with a medium-sized tractor. Oh, here comes the brat child. It's like he's gonna get off of that desk and walk across. Move your butt. Move your butt. Thank you. All of that was the brat child. Going in, hitting the store, showing Edison Motor stuff. Oh, excuse me, that was him. But to get back to what I was saying before he decided he was going to move and interrupt everything. Yeah, I think it's the latest episode of 5PD the site that is recorded and uploaded. I've got a copyright notice on it. All because the NPC vehicle that I was sent to pull over had music playing. That one little thing is like maybe 1 minute or so interaction where you can hear the music. Ain't getting an infringement. They just got a notice saying, hey, you got copyrighted material. They allow it to be used. But just know you've got copyrighted material. train's a kilometer away. Where? Oh, it's down there. So it'll be here shortly. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm hoping the volume on my mic is alright. I still seem to be quiet to myself on it. But I'm kind of loud. But I seem kind of quiet. So I changed the game mode. So hopefully it doesn't seem to be as low. Oh, that's right. These hold like 90,000. I feel like I'm getting somewhere at work. Oh. Goodness. I've been there almost 2 months now. And I really feel like I keep getting further and further behind. Oh, we were $30 off income. Okay, I'm not gonna argue. We got $3 more than I was expecting. They're nice enough to have somebody take a pickup truck, put this down there, so we can get back to our tractor. But I finally feel like I'm being called. I was getting caught up there for a bit, starting to, and then I get breakdowns. Equipment goes down. I think it's like second week I was there. I think it's like second week I was there. I was trying to start working on graves, and then came messed up. Then we just kept getting so much rain that the graves stayed so wet that I couldn't gamble. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not. What I do, what do they call my position? I've talked about it before some, when I was at my old job, that I work for a cemetery. I don't work for that particular cemetery anymore. I work for a different one now. same town. But the ones where I used to work was owned by the city. But I want a city employee. The city owned the property, but had a appointed commission run everything, set the prices, do hire all the people, all that. Yes, I know. I want to be charged. I'm looking on my phone. That way I don't have to pull up anything. I'm not having to worry about it showing up on here with any information or anything that could be sensitive. Basically, the position's called a cemetery services specialist. I'm maintenance for the cemetery. So I open a grave, I close the grave, I lay the grave off, the stone, I put the stone down, I build the stones. Most of ours are a two-piece. You have a granite base, and then you have bronze toppers that go on it. That you got stuff to do. You got pieces to go through the holes, and all bolts, basically bolts up together. I take the granite doors off of the mausoleums, take the inner shutters off, seal all that stuff back up, do all of that, maintain the equipment and all as best as I can. There's some stuff, of course. There's stuff I can do, but there's stuff I can't. But that's basically what I do. Position, cemetery services specialist. I've been there almost 2 months. So, get sunned out of this. I don't like staying sunned. But I've got some stuff I gotta get done too. So, give me a moment. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to step to the restroom. But that's what I do. It's a kind of a corporate job. The parent company has multiple owns a number of cemeteries, more than the number they own. I know at least a dozen in the state. Probably that many funeral homes. They are, it's a large corporation. I've been doing it by myself for the last 2 months. Um, Supposed to have some help starting here soon. They hired them, I think it was last week, so basically you gotta wait for a recruiter to get your offer letter sent to you and all. You gotta go through that, background check, drug test, then you can start. But talking about feeling like I'm getting something, finally getting caught up and all, getting something accomplished. I've had a bunch of the markers, your headstones, footstones, a bunch of those that, because and this is where stuff's a little different. Trying to think. Okay, yeah. So we're going to use paint for this. So we're going to do that. So this would be 8 foot wide. Ten foot front to back. And okay. So this is, I hope y'all can see that okay. Basically this is how things were. My old job, you were 8 feet wide. So we'll go, so across, that's 8 foot. Which was basically, this is a lot. A Basically a family lot. So so spaces for like myself and my wife. Space 1, space 2. It was 8 feet wide. $10 front to back. Now, 8 feet wide. That gives you each space. So space 1, space 2 in that lot. And this is, well, let's go. I need to go back to black. Go 18. Well, that's fine. I don't care. So this is a lot. These are lots. 8 foot. This is the old. This is the city cemetery here. Old job. 8 foot side to side, 10 foot front to back. So that gives you space 1 and space 2 are each 4 foot wide. You're only going to use 3 foot of that. So you're only going to use 3 foot. So you're going to be like here to here. And this is not the scale, so please don't hold me to scale. 3 foot. So you have 6 inches on the left, 6 inches on the right of the state requires a burial container, a vault. At least what's called a liner. It's a outer burial container that the casket goes in to help protect it. You're 3 foot. You're 8 foot. So we'll go this color. But because you're 4 foot wide in each space, you got 6 inches here, 6 inches here, 6 inches here, 6 inches here. So between, like, I would be in 1, my wife would be in 2 at the city cemetery. There would be a foot of dirt in between. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then and then this is 8 foot. So your hole's 3 foot wide by 8 foot front to back in a space that is 4 feet wide, 10 feet front to back. So you have a foot here and a foot here. Basically, you're given a path. You're making a 2 foot path between, because you would have another lot. You would have another lot going here, another lot here, and of course, this would be like lot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Technical. Well, you get the idea. You'd have multiple lots. My knee job, you got 8 foot front to back, 8 foot side to side. You still got the 4 foot in the middle. And you're digging a 3 foot side to side by your full 8 foot front to back. Well, you're stone sits here, or depending upon, your stone might be here. So, well, nope, that ain't what I wanted. I wanted a brush. There, brush. This will be your stone, or this will be your stone. Your stone is roughly 4 foot, 48 inches by, oh, this is going, and I apologize for this, but because I talk when I'm doing this, I don't have cipher to kind of bounce off of, so I get talking about different stuff. And I know a lot late, the last few videos on Ravenport, I've talked about my work, and I'm sure some of y'all might have questions about it. So I'm doing this right here. I'm sitting here talking and gesturing like y'all can see me. But I'm doing this right here, kind of give you an idea of what my job does, what I do as a job. But your stone is, most of them, 48 inches by 20 to 24 inch. So they're 4 foot side to side, 20 to 24 inches front to back. So they're basically 4 feet side to side, a little over 1.5 feet to 2 feet front to back. There are some that are bigger. I know there's some, it's like most of your bronze is 46 inches by 14 inches. So you might actually be, we'll say 16 inches to 24 inches, not 20. 16 to 24 inches front to back. So 1.5 feet to 2 foot. But at the old cemetery, your stone would come here. There'd be your stone, or there'd be your stone. Your stone would go in the 1 foot that you came in to dig your grave. Basically your path area. That's where your stone would go. But with the new one, with my new job, and you'd have and we're just going to kind of come off here. We'll go with that to delineate. So like this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Lot 5, lot 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All of these 8 foot by 8 foot. But like you'd have 3 lots. So 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot. Well, then up here, you would have a path. Way down here, you'd have a 2-foot path. Then you'd have 3 more 8-foot by 8-foot lots stacked, basically head to toe. The way it's done, head to toe. So for me to dig this 3-foot by 8-foot, this stone has to go, has to be moved. Now I might move this stone over here, dig my hole. Well, when I dig it, this side's still going to be flat. This side is going to be the depth that I dig, 55 inches. So, well, everything goes in, dirt goes back on top. Well then, now I'm all of a sudden, I'm high. So I've got to come in. I'll come in with a tamp, which is basically a machine that uses hydraulic compaction. It's a motor with basically a simple transmission hooked to the shaft of the motor that drives a piston up and down, attached to a probably 1.5 to 2-inch thick piece of steel. I'd say it's how big's the top of this cart, because that's about, well, the foot might be a little bit smaller than that. But that's 12.5 inches side to side. That's what, 16 inches front to back. That's about right. And what that does is it compacts the dirt down, makes it so it doesn't sink. Hopefully doesn't sink. I've had some, I've packed them, and you get a heavy enough rain. I mean, I'm talking like an inch and a half, or an inch to 2 to 3 inches an hour over an entire day, 2 days, 3 days. We've had some rain like that. Even a half inch an hour over the course of 2 days is enough, even on a freshly packed grave, to cause it to start to open back up. But you're trying to get that dirt packed down so that it encloses your container. Basically, you're trying to pack it in to protect it. Sometimes you pack them and you hear that's not good. You hear something pop. It is not good, because that means something with the container broke. And it has happened. I have heard it as soon as you've dumped the dirt on it. You hear it go. You hear a pop. It's not good. But that's that's part of what I do. But, or this is what I do, kind of in a nutshell. And I do apologize, because this is, I know this is gone for at least 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes or so. But because we have to move the stone, well, I've got to get the stone moved back to where it goes. So we're just going to use a common last name, which, but one of the most common last names, English language, Smith. Um, you would have Mr., Mrs. Well, say Mr. Smith passed, Mrs. Smith hasn't. You don't want that stone just sitting wherever until she passes. You want to get it put back. That way it identifies their lot, identifies where he is. They have a vase so they can put flowers. So you want to get it moved back. Well, there's a lot that were just sitting off to the side. Before, well, I know one of them. One of the ones I got down today was there since end of December, 1st of January of this year. Um, there were a couple more about the same time frame, but most of the ones I'm having to put down are ones that have had to be moved since I've been there. But because of the weather pattern where we've seen rain like every other day at times, or large heavy amounts of rain, or my equipment breaking and having to be repaired, um, and getting all of that fixed, it might take a day or two to get all the stuff that I need to do it, get it fixed. Um, and I'll like my trailer, my vault trailer. I had to get it fixed. Had to get a battery. Went and got a battery, got it running, no problem. Then I'm sitting there trying to move some stones, get some stones taken care of. And it's got that braided steel cable, kind of like what you would see, encased in a plastic for clothesline. Well, I don't know how much clothesline is used now. I know they've kind of most people have gone back to using nylon rope for clothesline, but trying to think. If you've watched home improvement shows, that cabling that they'll do, the ultra modern industrial type like railing that they'll do, so where you have like polished aluminum, polished steel, and then you have that cable that runs through so that you can't just slip through. That's a braided steel cable. That's what we had on the winch and all. It was basically a winch cable. That snapped on me while I had a 400-pound stone lifted. Thankfully, I only had it lifted about half an inch when it snapped. So when it dropped back. It didn't break, thank God. I already had one break that day. And I think it was just old. The stone was old. Had a stress fracture somewhere, and by moving it just caused it to, when I was moving it, hitting the bump, just caused it to bounce just right. That stress fracture just decided to let loose and crack the whole stone. But it's been multiple things. Trying to get equipment fixed, get equipment back running, weather. But can say I'm down to 6 stones needing to be replaced. 3 that I've pulled up, or that have been taken up since I've been there, and 3 that were sitting in my shop when I started. So hopefully I can get those 6 knocked out tomorrow. That would be that done. It'll be nice. Be one more thing out of my hair. I can get on building all my new stones and getting them installed. But like I said, some of these stones are 400 plus pounds. If it's a single stone, like just a single piece of bronze for one person, think like your veterans areas in your cemeteries. Like if it was a single veteran guy passed and all, I would say look at Arlington for example, but Arlington is not the best example for the type of stone I'm talking about, because I think Arlington is all marble crosses and they stand up. But this would be a piece of bronze. It would be about 20 inches side to side. 12 to 14 inches front to back. No, 10 inches front to back, because it goes on the 24 by 12 piece of granite. So it's 24 inches side to side, 12 inches front to back. That's what we call a single bronze or a single marker. Those 200 pounds, 250 maybe. You can move those by yourself fairly easily. They're not hard. They're not the hardest to do, but that's a good amount of weight. And you take something like that and you multiply it 2 to 3 times the side, that length. Add on a couple more inches in width. Or when I say side to side, would be if you're looking at the stone. Side to side would be to your left and to your right. Front to back would be from the edge of the stone closest to your foot to the other side, to the side of the stone opposite of your foot, going straight ahead. Like if you were to step over the stone, that would be front to back. Side to side would be left to right, for orientation. And I promise I'm gonna wrap this up. Yeah, you're looking, those are easy 350, 400 pounds plus. So they can be hard to move by one person. I had one today. I had to put it's what we call a companion. So it has husband and wife's information on it. But they each have, because the husband served, he got a veterans marker through the VA. In bronze. Got the bronze. So it's the bronze that goes on to a big piece of granite. Then the wife would get a match that would go on her side. Well, I'm replacing the wife's because it got messed up, so I'm putting a new one down. literally have it up just enough I can slide my hands under to reach the bolts and tighten up the nuts on the bolts. I'm sitting there, I'm got my hands up under there, both hands up under one side, and it's the edge of the stone is resting probably within, if you were to look at your hand, you got the first crease below your thumb, and then you got another crease where your skin kind of folds when you bend your hand down, when you kind of turn your hand in or bring your hand towards the inner part of your elbow. So from that first crease, if you go down about an inch, that's where, right in that first inch, from that first crease to that first inch coming towards your elbow, that's where the edge of the stone was. And if the board, well, I had two pieces of 2x propping that end up. The husband's end was still in the ground at a bit of an angle, but it was still down. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, if this snaps, that's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. Don't know why it crossed my mind on that one when I had to take one that has the full bronze with the husband, that has husband and wife's name and all. They had misspelled some stuff, so we had to get a new one, replace it. I basically did the same thing with that one, but I lifted it up and blocked under with two 2x's on each end and a 4x4 on each end, so I could get under it, tighten nuts up to the bolts to the stone. If any of that had broke, it would have crushed my hands. Probably crushed a good part of my arm. But you do what you gotta do. Gotta get the work done. Don't matter if you're by yourself or not. Gotta get the work done. So, but anyway, I am sorry to anybody that this is bored, because I've now been talking about what I do for 25 minutes instead of doing any farming, but that's okay because we need to let crops grow. So I don't think anything's progressed. Yeah, don't look like anything's progressed, but games run, so stuff's growing. But for anybody that was bored by a little deviation, presentation, and all, I apologize. But I'm sure there's somebody that's been watching, because I know here lately, pop to this, like part 7, Ravenport 22 part 7, which went up yesterday. It's got 41 views, 6, 28 views, 5's got 24, 4's got 48, 3.5's got 22, 3's got 19, 2.5's got 28, 2's got 56, part 1's got 63, that's 10, well, almost 10 days ago. So, and I know I've talked at least on almost every one of those about my work, about I would love to see the tractors I use at work represented in game, and honestly I would love to see it, but I know I've talked about my work enough that somebody might be Well, what do you do exactly? So, this video we kind of covered it, and I showed you a little bit of what I do entails. Tried to explain it some. So, yes, we run long. We didn't do much farming. Well, we did some farming stuff the first half video. Second half video's kind of been talking about what I do for work and all, explaining my job and all that. But it's different. Um, would I make content at work? No, I'm not going to do that because number one, I don't have any way of editing any video. I don't want to show anything. Number one, I don't want to show anything that would say, hey, this is where I work. This is exactly where you can find me when I'm at work. I don't want to show any particular person's stone. Because, in my opinion, that's bad taste. Now, if I had a way of blurring the information, that would be different. But I don't have a way of blurring the information because I don't have any editing software. That's why when I get on a rant where I kind of go off topic, you hear me go off topic and all the way through the topic, like just like that. Which this is going to be a long video because we're hitting an hour. I gotta wrap this up because it's going to take a bit to upload. Won't take as long as if I had shitering link, but still, it'll take a little while. But no, I'm not going to film anything that I do in the cemetery at work. You want to see what some of that, like the digging entails? I would say look at Cold the Cornstar. I watch his stuff. That ain't why I got into what I do, but because, matter of fact, I think I found him after I was already in the cemetery line of work. But they showed they're digging graves, they're covering them, digging cremations, doing this, that, and the other, which I do all that. But I'm not going to show that. To me, that's something that's personal. I don't feel right showing any of that on my channel. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned something. Because goodness knows I've thrown some information out there that's educational. Heaven forbid I be educational. Heaven forbid I be funny too. But hopefully I could be educational and entertaining at the same time sometimes. But anyway, as always, hope you've enjoyed and have a good day.